I'm doing this vehicle for this lady. One of the worst things you can do if you're trying to have a nice vehicle is drive around with bug guts or bird droppings all over your paint. Your paint. Unfortunately, we do have a situation where that is present now, and I'm going to do my best to get rid of that. But the reason why that's such a bad deal is because these bird droppings and this fecal matter from the bugs and their guts and everything like that, guess what? It can etch your paint. They have, obviously, food in their bellies, all types of different acid, and it can etch your paint and do permanent damage to your clear coat. And there's not a dang thing a detailer can do about it. Once that happens, you're looking at maybe a respray, maybe a paint correction, but you might have to get it sanded. It's just a bad deal. We're gonna go ahead and show you what that looks like. And the best way to get some of this stuff off, there's two products that I like to use depending on the severity. There's a Superior Products Dark Fury, and I'll show you guys what that looks like. And then there's also gonna be Pink Perfection, which is kind of an all-purpose, do-everything chemical by Superior Products. Both of these products are really nice in price. I think Dark Fury is like $20-something a gallon. You can mix it all the way up to like 10-to-1 and it still be effective. And kind of the same thing with the Pink Perfection. This is what they look like, not the prettiest bottles or anything like that in the world, but they will get the job done. This is great stuff. And the Pink Perfection, I want to say, is like $14 a gallon. And guess what? You guys can get this stuff delivered to your house same day. It is so amazing, y'all. We're gonna get this thing going. Take a look at how nasty this paint is. I got this lady that I'm gonna get my detail for, absolutely free. She's one of the nicest people I know, always involved in the community. And she said she's been driving around with this thing that's beat the hell by kids because she's always out here trying to help. Let's take a look at this thing. All right, so right there is all the different droppings and stuff like that. That's going to be the bug guts. This is a car that you can tell just has not been taken care of. But no worries. That's why there's people like me on this planet that love doing this type of stuff and trying to help people. First thing I'm going to try to do is I'm going to hit this with my foam cannon, right? Just to try to see if we can get any of that grit off before I start going to town. Using that TDS Pro foam cannon. Y'all got to pick one of these up. I mean, this thing is rock solid, man. Y'all sleeping on them. Yeah, but the first thing we're going to do is just hit it with a little bit of foam. This vehicle has not had any pre-sprays or anything done because we want to try to lock in as much exact dirt before we start messing with the paint. Yeah, you just see that nice thick foam. That's how we do it. Now, I will go ahead and dilute just a little bit here. Let's get a little runniness going. Yeah, buddy. Let's get that foam running. All right. So we're gonna let that kind of dwell for just a couple of seconds here. All right. Now all we're gonna do is spray this nasty off, and hopefully we got a little bit of that. But I'm using a 15-degree attachment to get some of that other debris, so we're not doing any more damage than what's already there. And I don't think we got too much to tell. This stuff is very thick on there. It's always important to do that due diligence. All right, so I have this in here mixed about 4-to-1, maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less. Go ahead and pump this up. Try not to use spray bottles, y'all, because spray bottles, man, they tear them hands up. Not great. I am using the Dark Fury on this because everything is pretty gnarly here, and I'm gonna spray it pretty liberally. I will try to avoid the headlights just a little bit. This stuff's not gonna do any damage, but just in case. It's a little sunny out today. Draw that back a little bit. What we're gonna do, kind of let it sit for a couple of seconds. Well, about 30 seconds or so is what you kind of want, but we'll have a little bit more working time just because I'm spraying it all on there now. All right. And then let's put this fine underneath. These spray bottles are just such a lifesaver, y'all. And this part's pretty simple. This is what we do best, detail, right? We'll just start down here at the bottom. That way, everything kind of drips upon itself. Right. And I just love Dark Fury. Obviously, this stuff is coming right off. No problems. Detailing is so easy when you have the right chemicals, man. At that point, you're saving time. Typically, you're saving money. The customers are like, All right, this tool right here is another one you can use. It's called a bug sponge. You can get them about anywhere. Pretty good stuff. All we're gonna do is take our Dark Fury, mix 4-to-1. This is usually something I only use when you have a pretty bad situation. This vehicle is pretty far gone. All we're gonna do is just spray everything at one more time, anywhere. Usually I would just spot spray, but I don't think a little Dark Fury is gonna hurt a little extra. All right. And we're not putting it on too thick or anything like that. Just enough to encapsulate and clean. All right. All right, so we got it just a little bit damp, and all we're gonna do is just we would any other area, any other sponge, just come in here, and we're just trying to find those bad spots. And it just creates a little bit more friction than your standard sponge, but it's still soft enough to where it's not really gonna stretch the paint. Not something I would use on everything. It's nice to have a dedicated device here. We get the grill. So get everything in there, call it a day. And now, once we got that sponge, we're just gonna knock all that chemical off with flat super. All right, and that's it. Let's see how it turned out. I think it came out pretty nice. We got all those bug guts removed. Don't be driving around with the bug guts on the paint. You're putting yourself at risk for some pretty serious damage. All you gotta do, spray a little degreaser on there, spray a little cleaner on there, knock it off with some water. Easy day. Y'all have a good one. Peace.